Okay, so this video is pretty much going to be about if you are looking into how in career as a makeup artist and you aren't sure if you should go to school or, just learn on YouTube, basically. I'm going to make this video to kind of help you out. And I want to start by saying it's all based off of kind of preference. Everybody has different aspirations. Even as a makeup artist, you obviously might have a very specific area you want to work in, or you might want to work in everything and have experience with everything, or there's just a lot of different things. You could only want to work with print, or only film, or, stage or something. So I'm going to try to kind of help you sort things out as to what might be better for you. So for me, I did the 16-week Masters 1 program at Joe Blasco Makeup Artist Training Center in Orlando, Florida. That program included 3 weeks of beauty, I believe it was 7 or 8 weeks of special effects, and then the last 4 weeks I ran foam and learned how to sculpt and make, molds and run foam and make foam latex prosthetics, in which I then was tested on applying them and everything. So, that of course was a very intensive program, and it was very, very stressful and it was very grueling. First, you've got to figure out what your focus is. Like, if you're only wanting to do like brides or fashion shows and you only want to do beauty, then you need to figure out that obviously you can learn anything on YouTube, so you do not have to, I just want to say, you do not have to go to makeup school to be a successful makeup artist. It's definitely not impossible to be a very successful makeup artist without paying lots of money for a school. So don't ever think that, I don't have enough money to go to school, or I don't have the time to go to school, or maybe you have kids and stuff and you don't have the time to put in to go to school like that from 8 to 5 every day. Don't make that be your end all decision to become a makeup artist, because you can become a makeup artist without going to school. So I just want to say that. So don't ever think that you can't be a makeup artist unless you go to school. And that's coming from me, and I went to school. So some things that are beneficial, though, about going to school is that it definitely prepared me very rapidly for the industry, basically. Like I said, it was intensive. So in the 3 weeks of beauty, one important thing, and I'll give you this too if you are learning at home, one very important thing that you need to do is get your time down, because at fashion shows, or really even weddings, you're doing a wedding party, you don't have time to sit there and make a perfect makeup look. I mean, obviously you need to make a perfect makeup look, but you don't have time for that makeup look to take you an hour per person, or 2 hours per person or something. We got our times down. They drill you and drill you and drill you to get your times down to as little as possible while still having a perfect makeup look with no flaws. So that was something that was very beneficial. But again, you can easily make yourself do that at home. But it just was helpful. It was just in a very small time frame. It got us to do that. And the other thing is, you are in a class with a ton of people and you're using each other as models. So you got a lot of pictures for your portfolio with completely different people, which is important. You don't want a portfolio that's just like your best friend over and over, because when people are looking through your portfolio, they don't want to see the same person over and over again. They want to see variety. They want to see different people, because that shows that you've done a lot of separate work. So that is something that's very important. And that was also something that was very beneficial at the school, because you learned tons of different skin types, you learned tons of different eye shapes, you're working with tons of different lip corrections, which that's something that's very important. So in that aspect, it's very, very beneficial. And it's something that, again, you can do without school, but it was just nice because it was convenient. We were all there, and it was really fast. You would get a couple looks a day or something, a few looks a day, and it was nice. The other thing is, if you're wanting to go into like prosthetics, it is obviously more beneficial, more convenient and beneficial for you to, time-wise, to do it at the school, because again, I learned in 4 weeks a lot of stuff that it would take you a while to learn by yourself, or, there's so many chemicals to learn, there's so much safety stuff, and when running foam latex, it's very easy to mess it up, and it has to be like to the T, perfect with measuring and everything, and it also, it's just, everything was there, the oven, and that's stuff that you probably aren't going to have at home. Obviously, that you have the ability to, but you most likely don't have a giant industrial oven in your house. If you do, that's awesome. But, so it's convenient because there's a lab there, everything's there. But again, it's a big money factor, and again, very stressful because it's in a very small time frame and you're cramming so much information into your brain. Something else that was really beneficial by going to a school like that is, when you're doing a makeup look at home, say you're practicing on one of your friends or somebody you can step back and say, yeah, I think that looks awesome, and it looks to me like it should. I cannot tell you how many times that all of us would be like, they would call time and we'd finish our look and we'd be like, yeah, that looks awesome. Our look looks awesome. And the teacher would come up and be like, oh, this, and this. And then we would see it after they pointed it out. We'd be like, oh. So it's nice to have a second pair of eyes, and not only a second pair of eyes, but a professional second pair of eyes. Your second pair of eyes is somebody who, knows what they're talking about, and who has experienced it for years or something like that. So it's really nice. It gives you a lot of good constructive criticism, and that is something that was really nice to have, and it's kind of like a boot camp, and it made me aware of that from that point on, and I am like a spaz about those things. Like, the things that were my weaker points, those things are now like my best points, because I got them pointed out by a professional, and so I whipped them into shape, because then I started noticing them. There's so many things that you don't notice when you're looking at your work or something, and then you get a professional looking at it, and it's nice because, if I would have taken a picture of that before correcting it and put it in my portfolio, obviously you're going to be giving your portfolio to professionals, and they're going to see that. They're going to see what your teacher just saw. So it is nice because you can stop that before it happens, and you can correct it. And so that was something that I feel really benefited me as well. Another thing is, it's just like anything. If two people are going for a job and somebody has, say, I'm just using this as an example because I went there, a Joe Blasco student or a Cosmic student or whatever, and then somebody who was self-taught. They both hand in their resume. They both have had the same amount of years of experience, but they're both fairly new. The person's going to probably take the professionally trained one. Not for sure, because, the person who's self-taught could have a friggin' awesome portfolio, because, again, if you put in that same amount of work, obviously you're going to get the same result, but just, it looks better on a resume to have a school. It's just like with any career. It looks better to have, a bachelor's degree than, an AA or no degree. So it's just something like that. But again, that's something so minor, because what they're going to look at is the work, but it is something that catches people's eye and kind of sets you apart from other people. So it's nice to have in that aspect. But of course, some cons are the price. Ridiculously expensive. Ridiculously expensive. I'm still paying that baby off, trust me. I don't have a lot of money or anything. So, I mean, of course, there's loans and stuff, and there are ways to pay things off, but that's what I'm saying. It's a big financial, like, thing. So, I mean, that's something you have to think about. And it is a big con because it is really, really expensive. But another pro to it also is, at least at Joe Blasco, I'm not completely sure, I'm pretty sure Cosmix does the same. You kind of get familiarized with so many different products because they're providing you with a supply kit. Well, you're paying for it in the beginning, but you get a supply kit that has pretty much, I mean, everything you need, so you get experience with so many different types of products, which is really nice. There were definitely a lot of things I was exposed to in special effects that I wouldn't have known to get on my own. Another thing is, because you have professional teachers, as long as you have good teachers where you are, like my special effects teacher, love that woman, she was amazing, and everything, because we had a beauty teacher, a special effects, and then prosthetics teacher, so 3. So, they were, you know, you get exposed to 3 different people, which is nice because everybody does stuff differently, but my special effects teacher, she went so far and beyond and gave us so many little tips and secrets. Like, I felt like I couldn't soak in enough from her, and she's just fantastic, and she works for Universal too. And, like, all of us were like, we want to be you. Like, she was amazing. I love her. It makes me want to cry because I miss her. But stuff like that is very beneficial. You learn so many different tips and tricks the more professionals you meet. You can get that, you know, without being in a school. You can hear of people being in town and go see them speak, or, you know, just networking. But I've kind of given you some pros and some cons, so it depends on what you're looking for. If you have the motivation and the drive to teach yourself and teach yourself good and be a perfectionist at it, then you go for it, because, I mean, that's awesome. But if not, if you want to learn in 3 months, like, bam, like 3 months of, like, basically makeup boot camp. And the biggest thing is I walked out of there so confident and, like, ready. Like, I was ready. I was ready to do whatever. Like, anything you threw at me, I wasn't like, oh my god, I'm really scared, like, to go. And I've done fashion shows because of it, and Zombie Run, and all these different things that I've gotten to experience. I've worked on a smaller movie and everything, and it was awesome, and I wasn't scared. I mean, I was, like, nervous, excited, but I wasn't like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, no, I was like, I can do this. So that's something I think that I wouldn't have had confidence as quickly if I didn't go there. So again, you can totally do it at home yourself, but you just got to be really motivated. It takes more than a talent to do this. This industry requires a lot of discipline. This industry requires so much patience. This industry requires just so much, like, drive and determination. Like, you have to really want it. It's something that does require more than just playing with makeup. It does. It's an art, and it's like a lifestyle, basically. So, I don't know if I've helped you. I've tried to kind of put some stuff out there, but I think, would I do it again? I would. Yes, definitely. Even though there were some really bad days and very stressful days and very, like, I really don't want to come back here tomorrow days because I was so stressed out. But I definitely would do it again. I am so, like, proud of myself for going through it, and I'm so proud of myself for completing it, and I completed it with very awesome marks, which made me very happy. I was very proud of everything, and I'm so happy of the people I met, because that's the thing too, you get to meet people who are sharing your passion with you, and there are a few girls that I was in that class with that, seriously, like, I call them my makeup sisters. I will forever, like, I love them so much, and I'm so glad I went through the program with them, because you're bonding so much, you're together so much, you're so stressed out together that it's like a bonding experience. And so I definitely would do it again. I would. I really wouldn't want to have to do it again, but I would definitely do it again. Ooh, also, from what I understand, and this is as of now as I'm filming this, because stuff changes all the time. If you're aiming more for prosthetics and special effects, a school like Joe Blasco is a school to go to. It has a great beauty program, don't get me wrong, but it's a shorter one. But I knew there was a girl in my class who went to Cosmix, but what she really wanted to do was prosthetics. But she wanted to learn everything, but prosthetics and special effects was what she really wanted. Well, Cosmix was like 11 weeks of beauty, I think, and then just like a couple weeks of special effects, and then you didn't learn how to make prosthetics. So she was kind of bummed, and then she went through the Joe Blasco program, and it was only 3 weeks of beauty, and then the rest of the 16-week was special effects and prosthetics. So if you're aiming more toward high fashion and beauty, you can go to Joe Blasco, and they have the 3-week program. Or Cosmix has the 11-week program, I believe. But again, I'm not like a super expert on like the schools. But as far as I know, that's something to kind of look for. And that's another thing to really do your research if you are going to go to a school. Because you need to figure out based on what you want. Ask a million questions, call there and request information. And I'm sure they will be happy to do that. But until then, just keep watching YouTube videos and practice and learn on here. Because there are awesome people who are self-taught, like Laura from Face Off. Freaking awesome. So, that's just some things to kind of weigh and figure out what you're looking for. So I hope this video helped, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and please leave me a comment, or if you have any questions, please ask, and thumbs up if you like the video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!